What's up guys, I'm Chirag and welcome to this video tutorial. In one of the tutorials, I have taken you through on how to send email notifications when a security group is modified, created or deleted. But the problem with that is it was not real time, right? So in that tutorial, we had used AWS config along with the SNS service, right, to send the email notification. So if you want to go through that video, then the link of that video is in the video description, right? So basically in this tutorial, I will take you through on how to send an email notification when the inbound rule is added or removed and it is almost real time, right? So here I have come up with the quick diagram or the quick flow, I will say, right, that we are going to follow throughout this tutorial. So for example, we have the security group and we are adding some inbound rule, for example, port number 80 or port number 22, right? And while we add those inbound rule or port, the authorized security group ingress event occurs, right? And that event will be stored or will be logged within AWS CloudTrail. In the meantime, we will create the CloudWatch rule or CloudWatch trigger that will look for this event, for example, that is authorized security group ingress within CloudTrail, right? Once the event occurs, it will trigger the CloudWatch rule, right? And that CloudWatch rule will invoke the target. So this is our target basically, right? So what we want to do is while this event occurs, we want to trigger the Lambda function, or for example, we want to send an email to the user, right? That saying that this event has occurred and this all things have changed, right? So the reason I had mentioned Amazon SNS and AWS Lambda over here is that we can add multiple targets for the CloudWatch rule, right? But at this point of time, we will only move on with the Amazon SNS for email notification, right? So how we will move on throughout the tutorial is that we will first go ahead and create the CloudTrail, right? So we have to go ahead and enable the CloudTrail to log that information, and then we will create the SNS topic followed by the subscription. So the subscription will be the email address or the email protocol to whom we want to send an email notification, right? And once this both things are created and configured, we will move on to the CloudWatch to create the rule, and we will set the target as the topic, right? That is SNS topic. Now, apart from authorized security group ingress, these events also occurs while we create a security group. Create security group event occurs, right? So for example, you want to send email notification when anyone or any user create the security group, right? Then instead of authorized security group ingress, you have to mention create security group, right? Same goes for delete, and here we have inbound and outbound rule, right? And this is the deletion of the inbound and outbound rule, right? So this might sound confusing at this point of time, but you will get a clear idea while we go ahead and implement that, right? So now navigate to AWS Management Console, and once you are there, navigate to CloudTrail Management Console. So basically, within CloudTrail, we can view events for the AWS account that is occurring, right? So as you can see, these things has been occurred recently, right? So all that information will be logged within CloudTrail, right? So if we want to retain this information, then we have to create a trail, right? Without creation of the trails, we will not be able to set a trigger on the CloudWatch logs for CloudTrail events, right? So to create a trail, you can go to trails from the left panel, or you can directly say create trail from this dashboard, right? So we will say create trail. So give it a name. I will say security group hyphen trail, right? Now the another option we have is that apply trail to all regions. So if you want to apply it to all regions, then you can select yes, else no. No will only apply to the North Virginia in my case, that is US East 1. So I will go with the current region. Then we have management events. So we are going to leave this configuration as it is, right? So it says read write events, log AWS KMS events. Yes, we want to log. Then we have insights events. So this basically capture an unusual call volume of write management APIs, right? So we will leave it as it is. We don't want to log that. Then we have data events. That is basically for S3 and Lambda. We even don't want to log that information, right? Now here we have an option to store this log. So you have to mention S3 bucket, right? So if you want to use the existing bucket, then you can say no and select your bucket from here, right? Or instead you can create a new one. So maybe I will say AWS CloudTrail and some random number, right? And once you're done with this configuration, say create. Now we have successfully configured the trail within CloudTrail. Now we will move on to the SNS. So navigate to simple notification service. Now here we are going to create a new topic. So click on topics from the left panel, say create topic, give it a name. I will say security group topic, right? And we will leave rest of the things as it is. And once you are done with that, say create topic. Now once the topic is created, we need to create the subscription, right? So click on create subscription from here. Select the protocol, that is email in my case. You can select whichever you want as per your requirement, right? So I will go with email. Define endpoint as the email address. So I will say shiragar83@gmail.com. Right, so it says after your subscription is created, you must confirm it, right? So while we create subscription, it will send out an email for confirmation, right? So say create subscription. So right now, as you can see, the status is showing pending confirmation until and unless we go ahead to our email and click on that confirm subscription link, right? So I will show you in a while. So you will be receiving the email something like this, right? And all you have to do is click on this confirm subscription. And once you click on that, it will acknowledge with the subscription confirmed, right? And once this is done, we are good to go to CloudWatch management console, right? So now let's navigate to CloudWatch management console. Now once you are within CloudWatch management console, click on rules under events from the left panel. Now here we are going to create a new rule. So click on create rule. Now here we are in step 1, it's saying create rule and we have to configure event source, and after that we will configure targets. So now we have two options, that is event pattern and schedule. We will say event pattern. Within service name we will say EC2. Within event type, we will say CloudTrail, that is AWS API call via CloudTrail, right? And then we have two options, that is any operation. So we want to log any operation or we want to log specific operation. So here we want to log specific operation, right? So we will select specific operations. Now here we have to mention or enter the events, right? So these events we can enter over there. So I want to get a notification or I want to send an email notification while any inbound rule is added. So for that we have to enter authorized security group in grace, right? So while we enter or add any inbound rule, this event occurs, right? So that's the reason we are entering this event, right? That is authorized security group in Grace. Now, for example, I also want to receive the notification while any inbound rule is deleted. So, for example, I added port number 22, and if anyone delete that in Grace rule or the inbound rule, then also I want to receive the notification. So, for that, revoke security group in Grace event occurs when anyone delete the inbound rule. So, I will click on this plus sign and I will add that. Now, for example, you want to receive the notification while the security group is created or deleted, then you have to add this create security group event and delete security group event over here, right? But right now I will move on with these two, right? And once you are done with this configuration, we will move on to the targets in the right panel, right? So click on add target. Now here you have multiple options that what you want to do while this event occurs, right? So we want to go with SNS topic basically, and here we will select the topic that we have just created, that is seg-topic, right? And likewise you can add multiple target. If you want to also trigger the lambda function, then you can go ahead and add a target for the lambda function, right? So for now we are done with this configuration, and once you are done, click on configure details. Now give it a rule name. I will say seg-rule basically. Give a description if you want. The state should be enabled, and say create rule. Now the rule is created, we are good to go. So what we will do is we will navigate to EC2 management console, and we will try adding some ingress or deleting some inbound rule, right? So once you are within EC2 management console, scroll down to network and security. Within that, click on security groups, right? So I am not going to touch the existing security group, right? So I will certainly move on with creation of new security group. So I will say SG new, add a description, it's mandatory. Now I'll say add a rule. I'll say port number 22 basically, source anywhere, say create security group. Oh, it says there was an error. Okay, sg-new, the name is invalid, so we cannot mention sg-. Basically I will say sg new, create security group, and the group is created, and we should be receiving the notification regarding port number 80 anytime soon. So let's have a look. Now as you can see on my screen, we have received an email notification with all the details within JSON, right? So if you look at the event name, that is authorized security group ingress, right? So this event occurred and we had added port number 22 basically. It will be showing somewhere over here, right? So now if we go ahead and delete that, so I will say edit inbound rules, and I will delete, save rules. Now we should be receiving the revoke security ingress rule notification, right? Something like that event, I forgot the name. So let's see. And here we are, right? So we have received the notification saying revoke security group ingress, right? And that we have removed port number 22, right? So this is how you can send out an email notification on security group changes, right? You can add other events that you want within the CloudWatch rule, right? As per your requirement. I also showed you the number of events for security group that you can add on as per your use case or requirement, right? So well, that's all I wanted to cover in this tutorial, and till that time, if you want me to do tutorial on any use case or service, then please leave them below and I will try my best to come up with the tutorial as soon as possible. And if you have any queries or comments, then again please leave them below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and see you next time.